Great. It's doing it again. I was supposed to unmute and I don't have it unmuted. Let's go ahead and recap that again. All right. So there's a lot of CPI data. I appreciate that. Thank you for typing that in the chat. There's a lot of CPI data that's coming out when it's all said and done. So the CPI data is going to probably throw a lot of things off. Now, I'm not one to know a lot about bonds, but at 1 p.m., there's going to be bonds. I know. I'm sorry. I'm new software, working it out, and I'm supposed to like click the unmute as soon as I go ahead and get past the intro, and I always forget. I always do. So appreciate y'all for letting me know that. But yeah, so if we think about it, the bonds is going to be releasing at 1 p.m. So 1 p.m. is going to be a big bout of volatility, just like CPI in the next, let's give it an hour and a half. So just look out for that data. It's going to be very interesting along the way. So let's go ahead and get into the chart. So NQ has been consolidating now. It's been consolidating since 7 p.m. yesterday, which is very interesting on why we're just sitting here, right? So a lot of people probably already have their positions. They're just waiting on the sidelines, and they're just holding on to cash to be able to reposition themselves when it's all said and done. My assumption, if I was to take a guess, well, the Fed's been saying that they've been putting in a lot of work, and they feel like they're not going to cut rates anytime soon. So they want to really hold for longer. So I'm thinking we're going to just stay where we are along the ways. But the market may take that information, since they want to stay along the lines, that it might not be today, it might not be next quarter, it might not be a few quarters from now, but sometime in 2024, there's going to be the first interest rate cut. So I think that's what's pricing us a little bit in. So I'm very curious on how they're going to respond with that when it comes down to that part of it. So before that's said, CPI and PPI data has to come out. So they got to be able to dissect that information and then kind of give the market what they're looking for. So I think that's what we're sitting on the sidelines here waiting for, is trying to figure out how is that data going to be put. So that said, I don't see any real plays for you to play right now. We do have some imbalances that's sitting from here to here, and we got one from here to here that kind of propped us up, and we're sitting on top of bullish order blocks right here. The good thing is that I had a nice little downtrend. Let me come out to the daily. I had a nice little downtrend that was kind of holding us down a little bit, and I was trying to see, are we going to hold below here? So yesterday we pretty much took off, and that information, that price action was very pivotal, so that way we can go ahead and see if we break through this. Now, if this imbalance here holds, of course, the day is not over. We got like 9 hours left. If this imbalance holds, I could see us getting even further to the upside. I'm thinking this auto fib right here at 16,545 could be a really good level for NQ. Let's go ahead and keep on going. Oil. I kind of set this up to publish this and let everybody know what I was thinking. I apologize. I know I should have put a publish out. I think mine's is probably a little dated. The last publish I put out there was on November. But if you've seen my chart for oil, I kind of predicted that $68 was going to be the level, and it looks like that's where we are. So let's go ahead and look at this entirety. You'll see at 68.80 is where we kind of created this morning star. So I kind of put this as a line. We got a little bit of avoiding price. We got a morning star in a reversal area. Why is this a reversal area? This mosh pit like order block is sitting right here. And to be honest, for you to be able to get through that, you would have to probably get a nice little retracement here and very strong impulsive candles to really make oil drop. I do not see oil dropping below $65 anytime soon. So this is what I'm probably looking at. I was going to be bullish if it held above this level, and then you can see yesterday they pretty much rejected the area. So now I'm kind of almost like wading in the water, trying to figure out, am I going to play oil up, or am I going to just play this rejection? I don't want to play the rejection because we got oil inventory that's coming out, so I don't know if I want to play that position. So I would say just tread lightly, maybe do some scalps, but for the most part, oil is toppy right now, and the daily looks like it wants to push up, so this can put a lot of chop, so be careful. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this going. We got gold. Now gold, boy, Ever since it got close to the sun, it rejected, and right now we're at the order block. So I'm not too far. I'm not too sure how far Icarus is going to get back to the sun, which is around 2151. So I want to see this at least get above 2050 before I even consider being bullish. And to be honest, I would say this: I wouldn't be all around bullish when it comes down to gold, only because we've been running for a long time. You can see right here, it went from October all the way up to November. So there's a lot of imbalances here. You got a bullish order block that's sitting here. You got an imbalance that's sitting over here. They filled this imbalance and gap. So I think this information is already set in stone. But the challenge that we have right now with gold, will this order block hold? And I'm kind of leaning on no. You already see where my bearish line is, so I'm pretty much bearish at this point, and we're probably going to rebalance this area and use the 50 EMA as support. So we'll see exactly what ends up happening with gold in the next couple of weeks. So just keep an eye on this level between 2000 to like 190. All right, next one, let's go ahead and get into ES. As you notice, I replaced silver with ES. So ES does look like it wants to be a little bit bullish, especially with the cheat code algo giving us a little bit of a curve up, which kind of gives us this nice little push. What I'm thinking is something like this. You see how we kind of did this little curve up here and we had a push, but we kind of double topped and continue down. When you see this curl up after having a flat line like this, it usually gives you a new leg to the upside. So I'm very curious on how far this goes. There's a little bit of an imbalance right here on the contract for H, but if I go over to ESZ, which is our previous contract, it's not that wide. So I'm just going to see if this is going to rebalance itself, and then after that we're probably going to reject somewhere. Let me go back to ESH. Come on, where are you? There we go. ESH, and probably top out at best 47.32 on the futures contract. All right, let's go ahead and keep this party going. Let's go to British pound. British pound works the way, if we go up, they go up. If we go down, they go down. And right now we're under a bearish order block. Now, with this bearish order block, I do not feel a little confident that we're going to continue to the upside. So I'm thinking that the dollar is going to start to strengthen itself, which making me feel like that CPI data is going to come in a little bit on the bullish for the dollar side. And if that's the case, then we're probably going to go ahead and get some more retracement back, which is kind of a good thing because we've rallied since November, but we'll see what happens from there. All right, so right now I'm looking at how we got these top wicks happening on a daily. If we go to the 4-hour, you could see we're very toppy. We're under the 50 EMA, and we could probably cross this stochastic down to the downside, at least to the 50% mark, retest to this bullish order block, and maybe come back to the 200 EMA and maybe bounce. But for right now, it looks like the British pound needs a chill pill right now. All right, natural gas. Natural gas is fighting to go against this trend, but right now, this trend is kicking its butt. So let's go ahead and draw a trend line from here, and we're going to draw a deviation of that line. Be careful with natural gas if you're going to play this. A nice little bounce here would be good, so that way you can go ahead and fill these imbalances here. But for the most part, you can even see with the daily on top of a bullish order block, jambalaya rice type of or mosh pit type of order block. So right now, I think they're just trying to find their footing as people are slowly accumulating their position at this point. All right, let's go ahead and keep this going. Russells tend to lead the way on the rest of the tickers. So I'm looking at the Russells right now. It looks like it wants to be bullish, which is going to bring the market a little bit bullish. It needs to get past this 1914.80 and start to really push back to 2000. I don't know if it got enough steam because you can see on the daily, but if we look over here on the weekly, it looks like it's been really making its move to that upside. The only thing is got a little bit of a hitch, so this might be that cool down period that it needs. All right, and then the last one is the dollar, the infamous dollar, right? So we're under a bearish order block. Now, I've been looking at this bearish order block for a while now, and it's amazing how it's been holding down the dollar, and I'm looking for it to continue to hold the dollar and at least get a death cross. I want to see it at least attempted, but if it does break above this level, which is my bullish level, I think the first thing I'm going to do is attack the 50 EMA. After that, it's going to go into the bearish order block and start to push back through it. So we'll see what happens and how hard it rejects. If it finds support, and then if it goes very bullish, then you already know the market's going to be coming down. All right, so that is that. Let me go ahead and grab my list. Let's see, I got a few things I wanted to cover. Let's see, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay, there we go. So a couple of things that I see. I seen a couple of tickers that are very interesting. One of them was Johnson Controls. Let me go ahead and switch this over to the daily. JCI. Johnson Controls. They had a nice little run up. It had this like double top type of action that happened between 2022 going into 2023. Came down, found a nice little base off of this support. Let me go ahead and draw that out. And let me change that yellow so don't confuse nobody. This is my general. Boom. All right. So with that said, we're coming to a 200 EMA, and it looks like a lot of supporters are like, I don't want to be the one holding this bag. They do have earnings, which is going to be this morning, which is going to make things fun for Johnson Controls. Now, do they smash earnings? Does the CPI data have any effect? Or does it just continue on this run all the way back up to the upside? Who knows? We're going to have to see. But it also has dividends that's right below. And this dividends is paying out on the 15th. So the ex-dividend date is the 15th. So if you are thinking about investing in something like Johnson Controls, this could be a very, very interesting part if it breaks above the 200 EMA. Let's also put in the cheat code algo trading plan. There we go. We got that. And I'm going to show you our trade manager. So with the MACD pointing straight up, the only thing that's a little concerned is, can we hold with some type of support? I think it's a little overheated. It needs some consolidation so that way it can find some support. And that support should bring you above the 200. If it brings you above the 200, maybe we fill this imbalance. That will bring Johnson Controls to $69. So if they have a strong earnings, if they find a level of support, maybe right here in this order block, kind of form what could be, for those that are technically savvy, something like this. And I know some of y'all probably say cup and handle, but I'm thinking something along the lines like this. Maybe like an inverse head and shoulder for my cup and handle folks. We already got ourselves a nice little rounded bottom-ish. So let's go ahead and get my arc. So something like this, maybe even angled. If this keep up, maybe get one bullish flag to the downside and then explode to the upside. I would see Johnson Controls get to 65, maybe $68. So this one's going to be very interesting, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on this one. This one is on my red list. All right. Another one is Oracle. Oracle had earnings yesterday. The first reaction on Oracle was, we're going to tank this, which is very surprising with Oracle. If we look at the weekly, I really thought this was going to be the beginning where they start to push to the upside. And if we put the trade manager, you'll see we have $126 was going to be the first TP. So because it's now starting to get to that stop loss area, I want to see how far do we come? Do we come to the 200 EMA on a weekly, or do we go ahead and bounce off the level that would be a stop loss, which is a psychological level or around the psychological level of about $100? So I'm thinking north of $100, I'll be a little bit more bullish if it shows that support and holds that support. But generally speaking, it is getting beat up after the earnings. So we got some imbalances to fill. So with the CC squeeze giving us a green finger here, and it looks like we was just about to pinch and give ourselves a complete green dot here. I was very bullish on Oracle. I just don't like to carry anything over earnings, so I did not carry this at all. But if this MACD can cross up, this could be just reloading, come back over to this weekly morning star, use this as the order block, and continue to the upside. So that one is Oracle. The other one is Winnebago. All right, this pandemic, darling, when everybody was like, I don't want to stay in a hotel. I'll just rent a Winnebago and this, that, third. This thing had get a little bit of a pullback since the pandemic. Well, actually, this is 2022. Let me bring it back a little bit. So it had a little bit of a pullback from here, bringing it down to $46. You can see the pandemic run up. It got up to 69 and it peaked out at about 84. So right now we're at 69, which brings us back to the run up at 2020. So this one does make things a little bit interesting to try to see if we can play this to the upside. Now, I'm not saying right now is a good time, but if we can hold this entry level at 69.05, this should give us an opportunity to play this to at least $78. If we look left, you'll see there's almost nothing until we get into the beginning of 2022. Got a little bit of an imbalance here. That's a nice little space. You got a little bit of an imbalance here. They kind of filled it. Maybe retest this area at 78. So that's what I'm kind of looking for Winnebago. But we'll see what happens when it's all said and done. All right. So anyone wants to go ahead, chime in, put in any tickers. I'll go ahead and put it against the trading plan on cheat code. Hey, there goes Casey. I was just about to say, I was like, damn, I haven't heard from Casey in so long. Go ahead and give me that. No, right? I finally fixed my, look, I'm not going to complain. Listen, I know TradingView, you know, you're new to streaming and everything else. There was a little bit of kinks here and there, but we finally fixed it. Now it streams over to my YouTube. So I kind of put all that together. Now I can be consistent Tuesday through Thursday, 7 a.m. for me to do the analysis. So whatever tickers you want to put, go ahead and put it in the chat and I will look it up. Let me give y'all one more ticker I'm looking at. All right, one more ticker I am looking at BA. Now, I told y'all about BA a while back, right? I'm a little mad at myself because I kind of predicted it was going to be on an uptrend, but I took my profits here. So I'm a little upset. Well, I won't say upset. I'm ecstatic that I was able to kind of predict that it was going to get up there. But for the most part, I wish I held on to them. I had some 205 option contracts. And right now, it's almost at 250. I can only imagine what those generate contracts are doing right now. But I digress. I'll work on it. And then we'll try to see if I can hold on to my trades a little bit longer. All right. Okay, cool. We're going tech. You got AMD, AVGO. Okay, let me finish this off. Right now, if you are in Boeing after talking about it and you still hold on to it, congratulations for holding all the way through and it's breaking out above this level. Now, 250 is going to be a tough psychological level. 275 will be even harder. So I would say if you could take something off the table, if you can, that'll be great. If you cannot, it's okay. Take your profits. You can always get back in when it pulls back. I thought about it here when it pulled back, but I was like, I felt like I was being greedy. So I left it alone. I said, I'll just reset up for the next time Boeing gives me this opportunity. All right, let's see. You got 4 for me. All right, I don't know if I can get through all 4, but I'm going to try. All right, so Casey has in the chat AMD. All right, so AMD, good ticker. Well, it's been running really well. Oh, that's a nice imbalance that it's sitting on top of. That looks good. AMD on the daily, we have a stop loss of 119. Okay, so 119. I like 119. That's a good area because it would have to give up this imbalance and then some. I got a stop loss of 110. 135. I think you could get to 146. Let me see what the 4 hour says. Because 146 is not too far away from... Oh, no, actually, that's your entry. My bad. That's your entry. Entry 135. To be honest, I think entry could happen now, especially with the 4 hour pointing up to that upside like it is right now. Let me see. We're sitting on top of this imbalance. Actually, I think it's this imbalance and this imbalance. Come back to the daily. And you said 160, 163. Oh, we are close. Look at that. I got 163.95. Great opportunity. I would say start scaling out around that 146.16, 155.06. Oh, you're giving me a whole list. Like, I might have to finish the rest of them tomorrow. But yeah, I would say that 163 is very attainable. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's go ahead and get into AVGO. AVGO. Oh, AVGO looks great. After breaking that 1,000 mark, it looks like it's trying to really hold its level. You have an entry at one. Oh yeah, you overloaded me. I guess it's been a long time. 1,053. I see why you did that, especially with this imbalance here. Yeah, maybe. Let me see what the weekly looks like. Yeah, I could see that. What's your stop loss? Let me see what your stop loss is. Stop loss 959. Yeah, I would say not even wait for the 153. Because if you're gonna wait for the 153 with a stop loss all the way down to 959, I have an entry at 957 on the weekly. So my theory behind it is, if you actually just get in right now, you wouldn't have to worry about that deep drawdown. You don't want to be in a position where now you're at 153 and it draws down all the way to 959. Get in here. It should be strong enough. Let me see what the oscillators are saying. Yeah, it should be strong enough, because by the time they try to turn this Titanic on a weekly, I would say you're probably going to get some momentum. The only concern is this upside, and I think that's why you're going for the 1,053. But because you're trying to keep a stop loss, unless you're going to tighten up the stop loss, I would say, yeah, I'll go with the 153, because that imbalance this should be your support and maybe 50% of it. Let me go deep in my bag. At the very least, 50% on here. So I would say no more than 1,000. I won't even let it get to 959 if it just starts to come down. So that's what I think about AVGO. Price target 1168, very attainable. 1119 right there. 1168, that's between here. So you're talking about between TP1 and TP2 on the weekly. I think that's a good trade. I like this one. I really do. Actually, you know what? Let me put this on my red list. Let me go check this one out later. All right. You put in some work. All right. I'm going to do APH. I'm going to do it in order so that way I remember for tomorrow. APH and ANF. I really want to get into CrowdStrike, but I'm going to save that tomorrow. So if you want to know about my thoughts on CrowdStrike, by all means, tap in at 7 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to break down the rest of his list right here. Really, really good ticker. It's like you got Hilton, you got Marriott, especially coming into this travel season. I think that's a good play too. So let's go ahead and get into APH. I don't know APH. If you don't know how Casey operates, Casey is one that loves his small caps. So this is a small cap company. You got earnings coming up, so I would say be careful with that, especially that it's starting to top out right here. I don't know. You got entry at 95.77. I see that, but if we go to the weekly, I think you're already there. And then your stop loss could be 86.61. You got 83. I would say tighten that up. Let's go with now, right? Anything between 95 and 95.77 is a good entry. $86.61 is stop loss. And I can. He kind of gave me a deep, you know what? I got you. I'll do ANF tomorrow. I want to at least give an opportunity to other people as well, Casey. All right. So we'll try to break that list on tomorrow. Now, you gave me a whole boatload. All right. So I would say $95 to $95.77. Good entry point. Price target 118. On the weekly 110. 110 looks like it's a strong level for you itself. I would say after you get to 98, I think you might have some tough times. What's this? All-time highs? Yeah, this is all-time highs. So I would say maybe get some tough time at TP2 because you need these supporters to stay in. Are they going to stay in enough until it gets to 110? I don't know about 118, but if you can scale yourself out properly, you probably can make that run. All right. And MPW. All right, I got you. MPW. I don't know that one. Monolith Power, maybe? Nope, it's not. I reached. All right. Medical Properties Trust. I don't do a lot of I don't do a lot of penny stocks. Anything less than $10 tends to be tricky. Let me see what their float is. See if you can do this as one of those. Oops, I think I closed it. Okay, it's a small cap. They just paid out dividends, and you could see people start taking their money back as soon as ex-dividend was established. They're probably just going to collect that money and run. If we go over to the weekly, it's been on a downtrend, right? So if you're looking for anything, I would say downside more so. And you could see with the cheat code algo, it just extends. Here was a buy right here. That was a Judas swing right there, just basically saying, hey, come get us. And they basically liquidate them. Here, almost took off here, liquidate, and then liquidation again. So I would say this is a strong move to the downside. Let me put a trend line on this one. Until it breaks this pattern, until it breaks this pattern, and maybe this could be your potential trend line to the upside, I would not even bother taking this to the upside at all. This is a potential uptrend, and it's at the mercy of this consolidation that just happened on the weekly. So for the most part, I would say there's a possibility that this is going to go to negative numbers. Our TP4 is at negative $3.93. So this basically says, do not invest in it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. This thing's coming to the dirt. So be careful with it if you're going to go ahead and deal with MPW. All right. On that note, I want to say thank you, everyone. Don't forget to hit the rocket. The way the rocket works, it makes the algorithm inside of TradingView let them know that I actually give really good information. If you really think it's good information, by all means, hit the rocket. Don't forget, hit the like, subscribe at my YouTube, my Instagram, X, whatever the thing they call it now. I still call it Twitter, right? Go ahead and do that. And if you don't have a trading community, we have one, and it's fun. We always try to make money. We laugh, we cry together, and if you feel like you're trading by yourself, click the link down below. Come join the cheat code. Come check me out, and I'll send you the link to our free trading floor. All right? Other than that, I'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. You have a great day. Have a great day, my neighbors.